In today's success story with Jonathan Hawkins, he takes us through how he sold one product for $27, actually 14 to be exact, and he's made $121,000 in his journey with Facebook ads and using Systeme.io's backend and all of their funnels and strategies, and how his goal is to double that this year. He walks us through his backends, all the dashboards, the numbers and metrics he's tracking, and how he keeps it very simple. Hi, welcome back to another success story with Systeme.io. And I'm sitting here with Jonathan Hawkins, and we're going to talk about guitar riffs and Facebook ads. So I can't wait to jump into it. So we were already talking a little bit before we even jumped on here, and we were kind of already debunking Facebook ads. But before we jump in, can we back up just a little bit on your testimony of how you went from, I don't know, playing the guitar to being a YouTube person sharing all the dirty secrets about Facebook ads?
Yeah. Well, I wish that was a short story or a short journey. I'll try and keep it really condensed as as much as possible. I mean, I came at it really from the point of view of I'm my target audience rather than the teacher. So in the courses and things like that, it's actually a friend of mine who does the majority of the guitar teaching. So I was always seeing it from the point of view of, yeah, I wish I could do that. Or, I've always had a guitar knocking around for years and years and years. And, every 6 months or so, it comes out for a bit and then it just slips back into the corner again. So, yeah, that's, I come at it from, I say, from I'm typical of my audience more than actually, I say, the teacher end of it. But also, I've always had an interest in the digital marketing side of things. And really, we all started initially. I just got my friend to come round, hired some video recorders, and put them on him and said, right, let's do some stuff. And I did that for quite a few years, actually, because it was always just a hobby. It was never really there to be, a big money making thing. And so that's what I probably, like all those things, that's where I went wrong really at the beginning is going, I probably didn't treat it seriously. And I did stuff just because I thought, oh, that's an interesting idea, rather than actually from that understanding of going, who's your audience? What do they actually want? What are their pain points? What sort of things would really offer a transformation for them? All that stuff, I now obsess about. Was just never on the horizon for me back then. So it
That's amazing.
has been a
Were you?
tortuous
Did you
journey.
have a? Sorry, I got excited. I'm like, wait. So you were doing a full time job and kind of dabbling in all these
Yeah,
things?
yeah, exactly. It was just a sort of a weekend, playing around stuff. I mean, we're talking back pre sort of earliest days of Facebook ads. I mean, one way or another, I've been playing around with Facebook ads for 7 years. Um, yeah, back in the early days where it was super easy to sell anything, just because it was new and it was so sort of cheap. And obviously, I think that's what probably made me lazy a bit, because it seemed so easy that actually I didn't really have to understand all these nuances and sales funnels and all the rest of it. It was like grab some email addresses, send a few emails, sell some product, which was all great and fine until the ad side got more complicated and got more expensive. And then the margins got further and further eroded because actually I hadn't really thought about anything beyond, the idea of building a funnel or email marketing or back end offers or all those things. So yeah, I think there's good and bad to it being easier.
Yeah. Well, having a full time job, allowing someone to be able to dabble and kind of like play with the hobby things. I think a lot of people, I'm one of them, did the same thing of like, am I going to go all in? Am I really going to analyze this and look at the number side and the statistics and create operations,
Yeah.
funnels that actually make sense? So previously, when you were playing around with the video and with the guitar riffs, like, did you sell or ever offer anything outside of your guitar riffs?
Um, I think, well, I mean, I originally started with a guy actually selling somebody else's product. So I saw a guy selling some guitar stuff on, we'd started dabbling in it, but I hadn't really got a product there. But I saw a guy who was offering a product and selling it on eBay. Um, and he hadn't sold it anywhere else and didn't know Facebook or all the rest of it. So I approached him and said, could I buy the rights to it, but purely for use on Facebook? I wasn't going to touch eBay and all the rest of it. So really, that's where I learned. It was actually effectively more as an affiliate. And
Oh,
so
I
that's
love that.
where it got me into the actually looking at the ad side, email capture, nurture them, create mini launches, that type of thing. So yeah, that allowed me to play with stuff in the background. And actually, early days had some good successes where I'd do, like, in a weekend. I did $20,000 once on a launch. But again, that was a physical DVD
Mm-hmm.
product.
All right. So selling the physical DVD, starting with affiliates, anyone listening, I think is going to like take that and be like, oh, I don't have to actually create something from scratch. Maybe
No,
I can get
yeah,
someone else's product, turn it into my own. I believe today they call that white label,
yeah,
right? You can buy something white label, put your name on it and sell it instead of you having to think about the manufacturing of it, creating it. And that's still a very viable product today. So already you solved
yeah.
probably, the
And
problem for a lot of people.
yeah, and I think the thing is what you have to really get into is that idea of you know taking action quickly. The whole idea I approach it now is I want to get in, spend some money, and fail as fast as I can. That type of thing, because you want to find out. You don't want it to be a long drawn out process. You don't spend 6 months to figuring out, actually, I don't know how to talk to this audience. I don't know how to find that audience. I don't know if this is the right product. You know,
Mhm.
you want to try and get in there quickly, do some quick tests on the stuff, and actually figure out, is there a market? Is there an appetite for what it is you've got? And if not, then be prepared to, let it go, move on, or figure out how to evolve it.
Okay. All right. Well, with that intro, can we dive into what is the one product? Because that's what you're doing. You're selling one product. I keep doing that. One for
Mhm.
$27. You were able to scale it to, quote me, 121,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And
That
now
was.
you want to double it, and it's still one product.
It is still one product. Yeah, yeah. And
Oh, I'm in. Tell me. $27, one product. I'm talking about simplified funnel. Give it all.
Yeah, and in essence, that is the key. One product is the key. I tell you, so overall, in back then when we were creating sort of courses and selling a few and then moving on to the next thing, then the next thing and the next thing, we end up with this collection of 19 courses. And I went through a phase of trying to market this one, this one, this one, this one, build 7 8 funnels, and absolute chaos, went
Mhm.
absolutely nowhere, and very hard work, soul destroying. Don't do it. Find one product, and that's what I did. So literally, I got to the point where I almost sold this business basically like 2 years ago, because I'm thinking, I haven't got the time for it. It's not really making enough money. I just want to offload it. And I mean, it wasn't doing the revenue it is there, but back then somebody offered me $80,000 for the website and what I had, and I seriously considered it. But I thought I'll just give it one last go. And what I did is really look back over the year. I thought, I looked at the numbers and said, which product have I had most success with? And I thought, right, okay, that's the one. That's proven. That's already got some sales. There is an audience. Let's see what we can do with it. And that in itself was transformational, because it's it looks very simple on the face of it, isn't it? You've got one product, you've got a bit of an email capture, then a sales page, few automated emails. Looks super simple. But the more you look at that one single product, and then you look into the ads and the retargeting side, you're looking at leads and direct sales, you're looking at cart abandons, you're looking at back ends, you're looking at order bumps, and all these things can be tweaked and tuned and optimized. So trying to do it beyond more than one product, I think, is insane. So
And you can, all right. So 2 years ago, you had the website, you had all that stuff, and you found the one that you really like, your most viable product, your MVP. and you wanted to go all in. And even with that one product, there's a spiral effect. I see it as a starburst. You can't, like, trying to learn all those things. Did you move from somewhere to Systeme.io 2 years ago? Because you can do everything in there.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was with ClickFunnels for maybe at least 4 or 5 years before that. And it was good, but it was complicated. It was expensive. And also, then I still had to have, like I said, other tools around it and integrate them. And it felt like the whole thing was like tied together with bits of string, really. The data had to come from there, then it went into there, and then an email automation. Then we had Zapier connected with this, that. You really
Yeah.
have to be determined to get it to work. Back then, but literally was so a couple of years ago. Yeah, I came across System, and like all those things, you know, you look at it and you go, yes, but it's a
Yeah.
big move to move from one platform into another. I'd got, I don't know, 10, 15 funnels in ClickFunnels, and you've got your email stuff, and I was thinking trying to move it, but I think it got to the stage where I was thinking, I need to find something that looks simpler and better, that actually pulls things together and feel like I've got a simple dashboard. I can see what's going on, and simple A/B testing. And System looked on the first face of it like it had everything. And but because I got quite a few funnels, I did have to move over and think, well, okay, I'm either going to go for a low end entry to it, or I'm just going to jump into the top tier. I was already spending more than that. I was spending between ClickFunnels and Active Campaign and a few others. I was probably spending at least $600 a month on,
A month.
on the
Yeah.
tools and bits. So I took the
Yeah.
jump
And
and
then
went
you,
for
you get
that.
rid of
Yeah,
that,
and
and you get rid of all that, and you can go right over to System.io and have it all for one price.
exactly. And the beauty of it was, the guys on support actually moved all the funnels over for me. That was transformational, really, because
Yeah.
I was looking at it, I was thinking, how am I going to do that? And
I,
they were about 90% accurate when they moved, and a few little tweaks, and there were
I was hoping you were going to use that tool. Listen in, don't sleep on it. The migration tool. If you're ready to go all in, get in one of the pay tiers, and they'll do it for you.
yeah,
They'll do it for you.
exactly. And because and that would take a massive stress. So yeah, actually that process, while you sort of got fingers, toes, and everything crossed, it's all going to work out. It actually did, and it was a huge moment of relief. When I could go into this system and logged in, and things were there, and I could see stuff, and yeah, I've absolutely loved it. The whole journey with it has been great, and the 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 speed and the way that new features come out, it's just improve all the time.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm a super fan, really, because
Yeah.
it's really transformed my business, and actually
Okay.
helped me focus, really, on things.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, having it all in one place, you don't get the squirrel shiny syndrome and, oh, well, I need to go here, here, and here. I agree 100%. It's definitely another selling point.
yeah.
Can you now elaborate maybe on your systems and your funnels inside? So you have the $27 product, but now what I've noticed is you are simultaneously having your journey of entrepreneurship on YouTube. So are you building a separate brand while showing what you're doing with the other brand? Like
Um,
that was like, ooh,
yeah.
sorry.
Oh, I'm not sure how much thought went into that idea of going, I know what I'll do. It was one of those things. I think, having sort of surprised myself at what I did last year, I'm thinking I think I can go a lot further with this. Um, so I thought, I know, I'll stick a stake in the ground and say, yeah, we're going to double this in a year. And but knowing that you've got to be on it, and I'm focused, I was thinking, well, I know, I'll just document everything as I go by. And I was thinking, then maybe in a year's time, I'll actually have something that I can maybe consolidate into a guide, to help other people. And maybe people will watch things along the way and just pick up little bits and ideas. So I was thinking, well, I'm doing this stuff anyway, so why not just hit a record on it and just say, hey, this is what I'm looking at today, and this is where things are going. So yeah, I don't know how that's going to continue to evolve, but it's interesting. But for me, the plus is because I'm doing these videos, it's actually driving me faster than I probably would do otherwise. Because I'm thinking, okay, right, what's next? Yeah, what am I split testing now? What results am I looking at now? So it has had the benefit of actually really bringing my focus in
Hmm.
more because I've got these targets.
It's almost like accountability too. You said you're
Exactly.
going to show up. I'm going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, well, they're waiting on day 79.
Yeah.
I'd better get something out there. So, what am I going to test today? What did I learn? What did I not learn? And you are, oh gosh, I can't think of his name. The Patel gentleman of Uber Suggest, like the king of WordPress and like how he started funnels.
Oh,
He
Neil
said these
Patel.
are
Was it? Was it Neil
Neil
Patel?
Patel.
Yeah.
Yes, Neil Patel. And he said one of the best marketing strategy is a journey marketing strategy. And the next gentleman, I'm so sorry. What is his name? Pat Flynn. Pat
Okay.
Flynn of Smart Passive Income
Oh,
has actually done that multiple times where he says, all right, let's start from day one and see where we can do by the end of the year. And so when I saw what you were doing on Facebook, I was like, if anyone wants to learn anything about Facebook ads, follow your journey.
yeah.
Like, and you're not holding anything back. It's absolutely phenomenal. So let's dive into your journey now of what has worked. Give me 3 things that have worked that you're like, I wish I knew this before, and 3 things that please do not waste your money doing this.
Yeah, I think there's lots of things. I think okay, one simple thing to if you're looking at things that you'd say to test is not be afraid to test higher prices than you think you can run with. Um, and I think particularly as a course creator or content creator, um, a lot of us people doing that um, have this inbuilt thing of going, I want to make sure it's incredible value, and therefore I feel like if I make it really cheap and give masses of value, then nobody's going to say anything bad about it ever. And there is that sort of slight, I don't know, a bit of insecurity about it. But actually, one of the best single things I did, and the reason why I couldn't have grown this before is that a year ago, this same course was $14.
Wait, so
And
let's sit in that. A year ago, it was $14.
yeah,
And is that the year you made
yeah,
121,000?
yeah.
Look at that, y'all. Strategy number 1, double it, right?
Here's how to make more money. Just double your price. I mean, it's never as simple as that, and I've
No.
tried different things along the way and understood what the impact on price increase versus either things like dropping conversion rates or increase in refund rates or negative comment or anything like that. And actually, that doubling the price had virtually zero impact on anything.
Wow.
So everybody still says the same great things. Everybody's still really enjoying it. There's been absolutely nothing at all negative about it.
How did
So,
you track that? Do you have like an Excel sheet? Like, is it super complicated? Like, where are you tracking your conversions and all that with in relation to that?
I mean, obviously, I'm doing got them things going daily, but obviously, things like the pricing side, it takes a while to actually figure that out. So I generally look at stuff over probably a 3-month period. So I made that switch. And yes, instantly, obviously, you can see the revenue side goes up, but you have to look at it over a longer period of time to make sure you've got enough data to say, actually, that's holding up. Because that's something else. It's so easy to look at data based on a few days or a week. But one thing I've certainly learned, another thing I guess, is when looking at your data, um, always keeping a view of different time frames. I always look at 7, 14, 28 days. And that's whether it comes to ads, whether it comes to conversions, split testing stuff. I always want to make sure I've got enough data that I know actually it's representative. It's not just a little blip, because you can get peaks and troughs, and that certainly comes through in all the videos I see, because my numbers, even though my ad spend now is at £340 a day, well, about $400+ a day, um, it the sales still are going like a roller coaster. So
Okay.
you have
Can
to,
we
be calm and not panic when things go like, oh my god, what's happened.
Can we sit in that for a minute? Like before we jumped on y'all, I am the person that doesn't do data and numbers. Like my husband does that. But if you want something pretty, I'll create it. So let's sit in the data. You were talking specifically about your ad spend. You said about 340 pounds a day. But then you have the $27 product. And then you said peaks and troughs. We're talking about those valleys and those mountains and the data going up and down. Can you give me a list of like the data that you're tracking, the numbers, so you got the price, what else?
Yes. So my across everything, and this is what I continually bang about in the videos, is the at the beginning of it, I'm looking at cost per acquisition. Right? How much does it cost me to acquire that customer? So how much ad spend do I have to get before something converts into a sale? Right. So that's my first metric. My second metric is average order value. So when they do become a customer, how much do they on average spend? So there's, in terms of that spend, that could be the front end offer, which is my $27 product. I have then an order bump, which is at $17, and I have an upsell at $97, and then a downsell at a payment plan of that 97. Yeah.
So that's 4 things that you
Four
have
things.
in
Yeah.
your funnel.
So, and what you're looking for is, and this is I track. So that's average order value, and then the third thing is lifetime customer value. Now, I don't do lifetime. I do like sort of 60 or 90 days maximum, because there's obviously what happens during that initial sort of sale. But then after that, I've got email automations in place with offering other products, or maybe through a retargeting, I can represent the offer again. So they may not have converted in the first couple of days, but maybe 2 weeks later, they will come back to it. So though, and all of those combined is all about the big number, which is return on ad spend. So I spent this much, I've got this much back. What's the difference? And that's the bottom line number. So the
Okay.
3 core areas, and then when you go into each one of those, there's numbers of different levers that you can pull, or things that you can manipulate to increase those numbers. So I'm always looking at decreasing my cost of customer acquisition, increasing the average order value, and increasing the lifetime value. So that's what I'm always, whatever I do, any of the strategies, they're looking to target one of those or more than one of those 3 areas.
That was a masterclass in metrics. Thank you. I understood that. And now with that, I'm like, okay, I can pull that thread and go backwards and look at, like you said, the levers and pulling and changing just from that kind of broad 30,000 foot, but just having those categories. Thank
Yeah.
you. I really appreciate that. So with that being said, what are some of the metrics, or like I was saying earlier, what are 3 things that you would recommend don't spend your money on, or these things definitely failed, or was it only because of your case study? Would it potentially do well for someone else? Like,
I think you made a very good point there, is the fact that, yeah, I think it's more that you understand how to test these things than somehow necessarily what you'll test. Because, yeah, for different audiences, the metrics are different across the board, right the way through from, your targeting cost in terms of reach from your Facebook ads to your response rates, all the way through your funnel to your pricing, can be very different from one niche to the next. But I think as long as you have that same understanding as to what you're looking at, then yeah, I think you're sort of good at it. So I've done it over the last month. I think I've done a whole. I mean, I think I worked out. I'd done about half a dozen sort of split tests, being able to do that, and 5 out of the 6 failed. As in my control, what I currently had, versus my new brilliant idea that I thought was going to be amazing, they didn't win. The
yeah.
control won, and but that's never wasted, because it's all learning.
Mm-hmm.
I say, isn't it?
All right.
I've learned
Listen,
more ways to fail. That's
yeah, exactly. Or is it, it's just you were learning 99 times and then the 100th time you learn how to succeed.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's it. You've got to have a very much a sort of an experimental mindset, when you approach it. You're going, oh, what if I did this? Or what if I tested
Hmm.
that? And whatever you've got your controls in place, which again, this comes to the idea of when you've only got one product, hell of a lot easier to say, let's look at this little segment. Let's just look at the landing page, and let's test something. I recently tested something of my current landing page is pure text only. Hasn't got a video on it. And obviously conventional wisdom would say, yeah, video sales letters, yeah, they'll always outperform text. Not in my case.
Oh.
Now, could be because the video wasn't very good. uh, but that's the idea, is the fact that, and that's what I learned from it, is the fact
Hmm.
that, okay, I can put a video up there, but my text is still performing well. So my options
Yeah.
are either abandon it altogether or work on producing a better video.
There you go.
You're always
Okay.
trying to beat what your current benchmark is.
Well, I was going to ask you a question about split testing, but I think you just gave us a prime example of how you're kind of doing it. So, for example, your landing page, you have your control one that's working really well, but then like let's spice it up, let's put a few things in. And talking about your landing page, is that where you do a lot of split testing? You probably don't do that there. You do it more in ads, right? Where you can have 5 or 6 things
Uh,
going at one time.
no, I'm always running. There's always a test running on the landing page. So it can be sometimes simple, like video or no video, or one headline versus another headline. Because these are small, relatively small tweaks. Because you know, I mean, my basic conversion rate so I'm sending cold traffic straight to an offer page, and my conversion rate is around between 2.5% and 3%, which is is pretty solid, pretty decent. That's okay. But obviously, small tweaks and changes there. If I could get to 3.5%, it would make a big difference in terms of ripple through the funnel. Because that's then more people potentially get an order bump, more people that potentially take an upsell, and then become customers and long term. So yeah, those tweaks and changes you make at the very top of your funnel, that landing page, can often have the biggest impact, even when you're only talking small percentage incremental change.
Okay. All right. So incremental changes on, and like you said, it's an offer page. It's not a freebie page. It's not
Yeah,
a lead magnet. It is straight offer. Give
yeah.
me your money. So what are you doing on the Facebook ads with your split testing to lead them there?
Well, Facebook ads is a whole different world, and that's something that has taken time to work out and evolve. And the thing is, with Facebook ads, it is moving and changing all the time. So for a while, and during a good chunk of last year, actually, I had probably 3 or 4 ads that I didn't change for 3 months, and they just solidly brought in the revenue, which was great. But maybe a couple of months ago now, Facebook switched everything, their platform, over to AI and machine learning. So, and it all went screwy for a few days. But actually, it's because obviously it's got a lot more sophisticated now. So it means that actually what you can do in ads, you have to be testing like more than ever
Mm.
in the ads. So I wish there was a formula for that, but there isn't. It's still about really trying to make sure you've got ads that are interesting, engaging, um, that are in tune with your audience and exactly where they're at right now. This whole thing. I don't know who sort of said it, but is with any ads, you have to be ready to enter into the conversation that's already going on in the mind of your audience. It's like meet them where they're at,
Yeah, yeah,
rather than try and convince them of anything or whatever. It's initially, let's try and make a connection with some interest, some curiosity, and then let's try and
yeah,
open up that conversation and move it on from there. So that's its own puzzle and game, if you like. And constantly I'm adding more ads in. I've got a now a single ad set with I've probably got 12 different ads in there, different formats, still images, carousels, videos. And the whole idea is that actually now the way things are structured for Facebook ads is what you do is that's what you do is you put plenty of variety into your campaign. And the idea is that actually the machine learning and AI tools that the platform now uses will mix those around a little bit. So maybe one time they'll show an audience a static ad, and then they might move on to showing them a video. So they're trying to use that intelligence to create a more engaging experience from your ads to the user. So the game's changing.
wow. Yeah, it's changed phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't even know the AI had come in. Not
yeah,
surprised.
yeah,
The last time I played with Facebook ads, they didn't have the AI, and
no.
it was complicated, but it was standard, like da da da, And so you said you have static images, carousels, and do you do video?
Video, got reels, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we've got shorter form video, slightly longer form video, got some testimonial videos. We try and bring in everything. I was just thinking of this morning of a sort of a cartoon animation thing. I mean, the thing is, try anything
Yeah.
because you can put it out there. You'll soon start to see whether it's working, because if it's starting to work, the whole idea is if it starts to work, then Facebook will show it to more people. If it's not working or engaging, they just won't show it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the whole platform on one side has got a lot easier. Targeting, you don't need to really worry about that these days. I target a worldwide audience, so it's I'm sure in theory I could probably spend at least double, treble more than I'm currently spending,
Yeah.
but I'm not yet ready to do that until I've got more of the back end bits sorted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I want to be able to know not only I can just grow my revenue, I need to make sure my profit's going to track with that.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Okay. Well, oh gosh, yeah. I'm excited about that transition of when you get there and how you build that. So I did have a question when you were talking about, are you using, well, you're using Meta ads. Are you on Facebook and Instagram, both
yeah,
platforms?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And and it's all down to the audience demographic. Bearing in mind my sort of guitar course and the teacher and the music, it's predominantly the audience is male, over 50s, probably even over 60s in quite a chunk. So even though it runs across both, it's pretty heavily skewed to Facebook.
Mhm.
If it was a younger demographic, I'm sure more of it would probably be on Instagram.
Okay. And have you done Google ads or is it all Meta?
It's all Meta, just because it's one of those things. Back to that thing, very much like having one funnel. It's a hell of a lot easier if you've got one platform and you really get in deep with it and understand it. I did look at some YouTube ads. I have looked at Google, but yeah, I just realized
Not
that
yet.
spreading yourself too thin again, you know.
Exactly. And again, great piece of advice. Do not spread yourself too thin. Is it a one person job right now for you? It's just you?
Yeah, yeah. You know, for some projects and things like that, if I'm looking to do something, then I'll get a freelancer in to do it. But I think that's been part of my guiding thing. Really, is just the fact that I don't really. I'm not looking to build anything like sort of teams.
Yeah.
I work very simply. I'm probably a nightmare to work with anyway, so you know, better left to
No.
myself.
Okay. Well, the next question I had then was, you said that you're global and you've scaled to this certain revenue. How do you how does System.io help you handle the back end of that income coming from UK, the VAT, the Australia, US? Like, is it systemized in the back end of that?
There's, I guess, there's two sides to that. I mean, one side, obviously, it's very easy being able to take the payments and that whole setup. You know, it's like click of a couple of buttons, and you know, I just do Stripe and PayPal as the two processors side of things. It is a little bit more complex in terms of my accountant moans at me because the downloads you get out of PayPal, you know, it's got fees in here, then it's transferring dollars into sterling, and then you know backwards and forwards type of thing. Yeah, that's a little bit of a thing, but I guess you know anybody outside of the US is probably dealing with similar things. You know,
Yeah.
once you've chosen dollars as your currency.
Yeah. Okay, that was helpful, but it's streamlined on the System.io
Oh,
side.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's right because I recently did the update with the PayPal, you know, and I'm always fearful of anything like that, you know, that something's going to break. But it was literally about two button clicks and it was updated. So, yeah, that was a good experience.
Okay, so when it comes to your business and what you're building, I would say like the Facebook ads is more the complicated, trying to figure it out, throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall and tracking your numbers. But circling back to System.io and what you're able to do in there, like what metrics are you kind of tracking in there outside of those number ones, like with the landing page or the conversions, like you told us 2.5 to 3, which is pretty standard and great
Mm.
actually when you're not doing anything else around the product. Like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, now obviously that's where I like System.io very much, and I say because I'm always running sort of A/B tests on things. I guess I'm just looking for the little tweaks here because I know roughly what everything else converts at, and every couple of weeks I've got a sort of a dashboard that I've created for myself, which actually I've shared in one of the videos I've done, which really then starts to say, draw the small strands of data back into this cost of acquisition, average order value, and lifetime customer value. And they're the things that I tend to reflect on every couple of weeks to go, are we moving in the right direction? I say I don't want to be too fixated on everything on a daily basis because there's too much fluctuation, you know, because it's all down to Facebook. You know, sometimes one week they may put all your ads in front of a great audience who are super enthusiastic and your sales go, you know, through the roof. And then the following week they put it in front of a different group and they don't respond. So you've got to, there's stuff you can control and stuff you can't control.
mhm.
So yeah, that's where you have to take the slightly broader picture on it, and yeah, not get too emotional on a daily basis.
Yeah. And I think that's good. Like you can't, like it's like getting on the scale every single day. You don't want to watch the scale go up and down like that. Like you got to look at, okay, I started this diet 3 months ago. I've lost 10 pounds. Like that's focus on, the end goal.
Yeah.
So with your YouTube journey specifically, and we're hearing the 20, you already went from 14 to 27. You're trying to double that in this year and documenting it. How is affiliate marketing with System.io? Are you capitalizing on that in your description box and kind of leading people to that?
um Short answer, no. probably the correct answer would be yes, I'm doing that, and I should be doing that.
Oops.
Oops, yeah. And actually, what I'm also doing. So what I do on the made a very good point. Really, I don't know why I haven't done that. I'll fix that. So
You'll fix it right after
yeah,
this
yeah,
interview.
get it on my list. So yeah, so what I'm doing every day is I do a sort of recording, looking at my Systeme.io dashboard, then talk about a specific thing I'm testing. So I shoot maybe like a 5-10 minute video every day, and then I'll put that up in a Facebook group I've got, and I'll put it up in on YouTube. But I'll also transcribe it and create a blog post. So I've actually set up a blog as
Oh.
well. So that's got a little bit more text sort of article to it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I should have
Now, is
yeah,
that on your Jonathan
yeah,
personal brand
yeah,
website,
exactly.
which is also in System.io?
It is. Yeah. Yeah. No, anything I
Yeah.
do, I do it there now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no reason to go out there. So, do you technically have two accounts? Like, do you have your main account and a sub account, or do you have two separate System.io accounts?
No, I use it on a sub account.
Hmm.
It's yeah, it's so easy, and I think that's been a really good thing because there was a danger that it was getting complicated, but
Yeah.
being able to just drop and switch between one and the other, and see that is really good, really good. As I
Yeah.
say, I'm just every time I look on the Facebook group, and I see what they're doing sort of next. They they're always ahead of really what I'm thinking anyway. So yeah, I'd say I'm hugely impressed.
Yeah, I'm really excited. They've been dropping in the Facebook group a lot of website themes and different
Yeah, it looks
designs,
like
and
that.
listening to the feedback.
Yeah.
Like, I love when the hierarchy is like, it's not about like this is what we're gonna do. We don't care about y'all. No, they come right down, just like you. You understood your avatar, who you were speaking to, and they were like, we know you want more websites, so how's this? Oh, you
Mm,
don't like it? We'll tweak it. How about this?
mm,
And being able to, because that is one of those things, like when they came out, they focused more on the funnel side, but people are kind of like, we want a little more bells and whistles on the what they call blogs.
yeah.
And so you have your main account and your sub account, building out your personal brand, and building up that affiliate marketing with System.io.
Noted.
I'm telling you, I can't wait to have you back in 6 months and you're like, well, let me tell you,
Yeah, yeah, that one thing you told me about.
And how's your YouTube channel going with you providing these 5 or 10 minute values? Like, I went on and you're
Yeah, I mean
it's
it's going to be a slow sort of burn with it. I think like anything, it takes a while to actually get stuff out there and people to get a bit of momentum, and then for YouTube itself to decide to put it in front of more people. But I'm sort of not really even looking or thinking about that because that's very much an aside, and almost it's sort of it's yeah they're just a little small stepping stones. I think once I can see a month and 2 months. So I've just done 5 weeks of this now. So yeah, what was it, 37, 38 days, and I realized actually I've set this aside of whole year, and I'm 10% through it, or
Mhm.
already. So
Yeah.
it's amazing
I was
how
gonna just
quickly
ask that. Like, give us your fiscal year. Like, tell us how far you've come in those 5 weeks, and kind of like where do you project it out?
yeah. So I mean, I wish I knew what the projection was, but I mean, I think it's one of those things. I made a decision I was just going to start it on the 1st of September randomly. I thought it was easier to start on the first of a month, and I've had some good things happen. Some I think I probably got very lucky with a good bit of targeting from Facebook, and got some early sort of good wins. So right now we're ahead of target. Uh, but equally, I know last couple of days things have been a bit more on the line. I'm still profitable, but
Yeah.
not compared to other things. So yeah, I can see it in itself is going to be a bit of a journey. but it's one of those things. I found it very motivational for me as well. Excited
Yeah.
about it.
Are you still working full time as well and
No,
doing this on side?
no.
No.
I pretty much do this. I do a couple of support Facebook ads for a couple of other businesses, but I don't really do much on that sort of side of things. I've got some new projects in the go, working on a brand new product in the guitar niche, something totally new, but that's about 3-4 months out.
Okay.
So
So what is your time commitment to this little project? That's kind of
doing this, I look to try and maybe I'll spend an hour or two a day is what I look to
what?
do. Yeah,
Yeah. An hour or two a day,
yeah,
scaling, trying to scale 121,000 to 240,000
yeah.
at an hour or two a day.
I
Like
mean, some
that.
days like I went away walking recently, but I didn't spend any time for 3 days. But that's the thing about it is the fact that the more these automations are in place, I like to go out and travel and stuff. So I know that actually I don't need to be sort of micromanaging it on a day by day basis. I do because I
Yeah.
love it, but I mean,
I love
um,
that. So with that, I'm going to kind of start landing the plane here. What is the gift that this entrepreneurial online journey given you?
uh, good question. I think just a really a sense of excitement. I guess a sense of competition against myself, which I find very motivating because I'm sure it's somewhere in there I'm a bit competitive. So yeah, and actually it's made it more fun, and that's what I want it to be. Something
I
actually
love that.
enjoyable.
Yeah, and I get a different answer every time. I really do. And so I haven't heard that one, but immediately I thought of my husband. He's the athlete. He's the sport competitive person. Like that's what he would do. Every day would be a competition against himself and the numbers on the screen every day.
Yep, that's about it.
So, if you could use one word or one sentence to describe Systeme.io, how would you describe it?
I think it's for me. It's very much about just the simplicity and transparency of it all. Is yeah. I find it a nice, calm space to work because I know I've seen it, I'm familiar with it, so I can do everything I want sort of quickly. There aren't barriers. Sometimes when you want to do stuff, you go, "Oh, I've got to do that, I've got to do that," and there. But I can just dive in, and it's amazing how fast you can develop stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. And then if someone is sitting on the edge of their seat, like they want to do a hobby or just get started, what would be your one piece of advice to push go or, get ready, just do it?
Well, that's always the piece of advice, isn't it? Is just do it. But I think it comes down to what I was saying a little bit earlier. It is take action quickly and look to fail as fast as you can. I don't mean that obviously, really, but I mean, get the result, understand it. So, and to be fair, that's where Facebook ads can be really effective. So, rather than I know a lot of people haven't got money to spend and therefore have to look at developing organic traffic, but you have to look at it saying, okay, well, you could go the organic traffic route, and for you to get enough organic traffic, you could take 3 months to figure out whether your idea is actually going to work or not,
Hmm.
or you can fail faster and put together some simple ads and actually see whether people engage. Not if they necessarily buy, but actually see if they engage, and you start that journey of building confidence in your own idea that way.
Yeah. So get from that top of funnel to middle funnel as quickly as possible because you can have people on awareness for so long before they even take that next step. Just go ahead. Let's jump in. Let's see what's working, what's not working. So having an attitude that's not afraid of failure and is willing to have a teachable spirit to move past that.
Yeah, and don't get tied up in perfection. I'm one of the worst really when it comes to going, oh well, that doesn't quite look right, and because I come from a design background, and so I want everything to look. But actually, I've had to learn to let go of more of that stuff and go, let's just figure out whether people engage with it. Because the thing is, I think a great offer will always outperform a sort of a great design, if you like, over aesthetics. Yeah, ideally, if you've got both working together. But if you've got great aesthetics and a useless offer, you're never going to win. But a great offer can cope with less than perfect graphics and
Yeah.
design and still work.
100%. And I think even a great design could destroy that like, know, and trust, because on the outside it looks amazing. And then once you get in and see the product, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, that
yeah,
doesn't correlate.
yeah. No, definitely I agree.
Oh, well, if anyone wants to learn to play guitar, where should they go?
Yeah, so I mean, we've got actually our blog site where there's got a lot of free content on there. So that's on guitarcoachmag.com. And then there's links from there into our funnel side, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great place to start, and you'll find plenty of free stuff there.
Okay. And then if they want to watch your journey with the Facebook ads, where should they find you there?
Yeah, probably the easiest place to find me is on my direct website, which is jonathanhawkins.com. And that's there. As I say, I have also got a Facebook group that tracks alongside there. So I have more sort of answer questions on that. And I can't even remember what that Facebook group's called, but I think it's something like Facebook advertising for course creators or something like that. But
I love
I'm
that.
sure we can put a link or something somewhere.
And so if I watch your YouTube video and I join the Facebook group, I can ask you questions about like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Or
Exactly.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So and that's good for me because that give me new ideas of going. Oh, okay. People don't necessarily understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll go. Oh, I can dive into that as a specific thing. Somebody mentioned a comment recently. They said obviously it's all because I gave a revenue breakdown of exactly what percentage of the money comes from the front end, from the upsell, from the back end. So I could understand where to focus my efforts. And they said, have you got any information about, obviously the refund side of things, the bit that you don't like to talk about? And I said, actually, I never thought about that, but it's a really good point. And actually, fortunately, I've got very low refund rates, so I'm happy to talk about it. But I'll put that in another video, just talking about understanding. Yeah, some people can have great upfront numbers, but if they've got massive refund rates, it's damaging to the brand, and obviously, it's misleading in terms of what you're actually making from it.
Yeah. So I think the transparency that you're offering right now is gold. Is absolute gold.
Good,
So
good. I love
yeah.
that. I love being able to share it open, and I say I'm comfortable enough in terms of doing what I'm doing to say that really failed, and I lost some money there or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's
And I
reality,
think yeah. And then not being a personal brand, you're not going to take it personally as you're learning to play guitar, and it either worked or it didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I really appreciate you jumping on with me.
Okay,
And
fine.
that we had no tech trouble at all today.
No, that was excellent. Really good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us and sharing your journey. And if y'all want to learn any bit more about his journey, make sure you go check him out on YouTube, Jonathan Hawkins. And thank you for joining for another success story with Systeme.io. And until next time, keep creating.